back. Jamar James, the business of wealth, redefining wealth. We got an awesome topic to talk about today. I wanted to remind you guys of all the wealthy Californians that's out there. In California, I always get this question: Hey, how do you live in California? Isn't it so expensive? And I will tell you, the California love, if you're not wealthy, is going to either it motivate you to get wealthy or it's going to break you. Right? I go to different states, and you, the first thing I say when I say I'm from California, is they're saying, "Oh man, the Californians don't move here," and it seems like the entire world don't want any more Californians. And I say, to say that is like, are the Californian people, are they wealthy? And I think Californians, we're just looking for a way to escape. It is so much in California that we love and we hate at the same time. Now, if you've ever been to California, there's things that make you love California. Something simple as the street vendors. Late anytime at night, you're able to get food. Anytime, you're able to go to a park. You can go to the beach, you can go to snow, you can go to desert, all in the same day in California. It is geographically, it is a desirable place to be. But then you also can have the flip side of wealth, where you can be somewhere like in Southern California in LA, and you can be in Hollywood uh, on the good side, or you can be in Hollywood the bad side. You can be in Beverly Hills, right? And you can live in these extravagant mansions. But unless you have a plane or a helicopter, you're gonna have to fight the same traffic getting down to Beverly Hills that a person will have to fight getting down to South Central. And the wealth gap, it is obvious. There's certain things that when you're in California, certain restaurants, the vegan and gluten free, um, that you don't see in other places. You don't see the variety of choices, because in California there's a business for everything. You can go into a place and they're selling air. Right? You can go in a place, you got cleaning businesses making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And then you'll have a place like Skid Row, downtown LA, that, it's like a city within a city of poverty. And so when we go to different states, I think the experience of living in California, right? And when people move out and they see the opportunities in other places, or they see the low cost of living, you know, it's almost a feeling of wealth from a California to leave, uh, this hyper expensive place with all these choices and options. Californians, when they move to a different state, they almost feel like, man, I can take advantage of all the things that, you know, is being overlooked. In California, the work ethic. I've been in New York, and I've been, I've worked in California and I've worked in New York. And the attitude between New Yorkers and California when it comes to work is, in New York, it is driven. They want to work, and they stay late, and they'll continue. I've never had so many Friday evening meetings until I worked with guys in New York. But in California, the speed to try to get out to beat traffic, or to get out and to enjoy the outdoors, it is an entire different way that guys enjoy their wealth. In California, there's a lot of big cities and a lot of wealthy cities that, the health, right, of going to sleep and getting 8 hours or 10 hours of your beauty sleep, it's a different thing that wealthy, and the how the wealthy think and live and view health, right? In California, there's a ton of healthy, wealthy folks, right? Because there's one thing that, once you have wealth, that you focus on, is like, how do you get more time, right? And it's not just, time. It is, you want quality. right? Quality of life and quality of time, and I think that is a vision that wealthy Californians have, is that how do I enjoy and how do I take more of this beautiful scenery? How do I take more of this, quality of life and be healthy? Because we also see that there's a big, you know, difference in the type of medical care that people choose based on the resources they have available. I've never seen so many natural doctors, right? What we call it, homeopathic, right? People in California, I believe, the ones that had the resources, they will spend more money in chiropractors and more money in naturalists, avoiding and trying to live as pure as possible, right? That's where we have the vegan and the gluten free and the organic. I think it started from people wanting better choices. And not to say it doesn't happen, but when I was growing up, and you're growing up in survival mode, right? The quality of life isn't as important as some of the resources that you have. Like, you wanted to have meat, and you didn't choose the difference of Stater Brothers or Trader Joe's. There was like, well, where is it most affordable? We can get the most for our bucks. And so when you see wealthy Californians leaving and going into a new state, they actually appreciate that. Oh, the food is, some of this meat is fresh. The farmers markets, the quality is better, and so they're willing to pay a premium to live in other places. And that is something that, when you have wealthy Californians move into your city or to your state, look at it a different perspective and say, hey, what do we have that they're moving here from? Because sometimes you don't take advantage or you don't recognize the wealth that you're already living in, right? You're living in a place where people want to come, and they have funds and they want your quality of life. It's a beautiful thing to be able to see land, to walk out your back door and see that you have trees and you have animals running around. A lot of wealthy Californians, there's limited on spaces. And so when they move to a different state, they appreciate some of the things that others take for granted. And I think, when we redefine wealth, it is like when you look in your area and look at where you live. I live in Temecula, California, where there's a ton of wineries. And I had an event, and in this event, people all over the country, they flew in, and out of the 30 people that came to the event, maybe only 2 had ever been to a winery. And so it made me realize that, the places that we live and the things that we experience, a lot of people may have never experienced it. And into that moment, you won't really have the gratitude, or you won't feel the gratitude until you recognize that, hey, I'm living in a place where, there's beauty all around, right? And that is a aspect of wealth that sometimes we overlook. We overlook the things that we have in the places that we get to experience on a daily basis. And I see wineries and vineyards, and then I realize that some people have never seen this in their entire life. 30, 40, 50 years old, and never been to a winery, never got to hang out and see vineyards and see the grapes and drink the wine that you see. So there's beauty in a lot. So when you look at the wealthy Californians moving to your place and coming to your city and visiting, just stop and think for a minute of the wealth that you have and the things that you've experienced that others, are paying big money to experience the same, and you may have overlooked it. On that note, this is Jamar James, The Business of Wealth, redefining what wealth is, coming to you live. You can find me at Jamar James on Instagram, Jamar James on Facebook, and JamarJames.com. Talk to you guys soon.